from high school. Here's still the small towns, all American just like you. Here's still my family, to the place I was born and raised. Well, living the good life, baby, is there any other way? Here it is now.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Be Alive podcast. It's going to get interesting today. We're going to try some new formats, but I've got some things I just wanted to talk to you guys about before I bring on my guest. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. The appreciation that I have for everybody right now with what we're doing here at Be Alive, launching all these different brands and all these different creators. It has been just so cool to see all of them thriving, all the comments that are coming in, the view counts through the roof. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that's out there. We appreciate all those little 5-star things that you're hitting and rating and all the comments you're leaving. And we're learning. We're learning as we go. I know I am as well. This is a new medium for me, and I'm excited to kind of explore different opportunities with this. But I just wanted to say thank you for that. And if you haven't checked out any of the new podcasts that are out there, make sure you go over and check out Bush Savvy. Bush Savvy is a podcast that Casey Kiefer's doing, my brother, on the kind of the backcountry. It's a different perspective and look into that kind of a topo for the backcountry, and it's really cool. He's excited about that. We've got some new merch that is launching with that, so stay tuned for that. I don't know if it's going to launch by the time this podcast airs, but I will tell you this, go to the store and check it out because there's all kinds of merch. This hoodie's on there. We got it in green. We got it in white. So we're just starting to really get into the merch side and launch that out. And really, look, it's not about us being this like active wear, really cool stuff. This is literally just comfortable shit that we love to wear, and it just sports the Be Alive name, which is about living the Be Alive lifestyle. So if you live that lifestyle, we want you to support us. That'd be amazing. Go over to the shop. The other thing is, if you haven't listened to Listen, here's the thing. I did an episode with the girls, Katie Kiefer, Miko, Price. It was a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. We had a blast. The two of them really have this kind of no fucks given attitude where they're just into it. They're talking about all kinds of stuff. Very inspiring, both in their 40s, both at a stage in life where they've got potential empty nest coming here soon. Trust me, I'm one of them. They've got, very successful careers in their own right. They've done a lot in the entrepreneurial space, and they're both raising daughters, and it's very inspirational to hear their outtake on that. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely do. Listen, here's the thing. I do. I love it. I laugh about it. They really is. The two of them are like squirrels. They're just all over the map, but I absolutely think it's hysterical. And it's just been great to see the success of Listen, Here's the Thing. So follow everything, like it. And the last thing is Poor Decisions. Poor Decisions is a fun show where we make the poor decisions so you don't have to. And it's just about enjoying things, getting outside your comfort zone, on trying new things like in the alcohol space. So we're trying new wines, we're trying new beers, we're trying new drinks that are out there, and we make the poor decisions so you don't have to. So make sure you check that out. Where can you find all of this stuff? Well, you can start by going to gobealive.com. That's where everything's at. You can also check everything out at the Be Alive YouTube channel. And of course, every brand has their own ecosystem that you can follow them in, and all the creators and things. So check that out. So I just wanted to give you an update because we're getting into this now, and we're really starting to get a rhythm. And it's been an absolute honor to put this stuff out there and see all of the amazing comments and things that are coming back. So thank you guys for the support. Be Alive. It's a lifestyle. It's inspiring. Get outside your comfort zone. Let's make it happen. If you believe in that, then you can be a Be Aliver along with us. So that's exciting. That's some of the updates on what's happening here right now. And we're just enthralled with some of the success. And I got to tell you, it has not been easy. And that's really what I wanted to do with this Be Alive podcast, is just talk about those trials and tribulations, talk about those moments that matter. So if you're a business owner, if you're a startup person, or you're just in life in general and you just are stuck, there's some things that we can talk about here that hopefully can give you some direction. And it's not because we're professional or I'm a professional in any way. It's because of experience. I've been doing this for 20 years now, building businesses, selling businesses, building brands behind the scene. And it's just been fun to kind of take a break from the norm of what people may know us from or may know me from, which is the Drop TV show or hunting, and get into a passion of mine behind the scenes, which is literally business and how to make brands come to life. And it's been an exciting adventure doing that. And, you know, we've been lucky up to this point to have all of our original guests in studio. And we've got a slew of guests lined up here over the next couple of weeks that are virtual. And so we're going to try a little bit of a different format where I will give you a bit of an update of what's happening and some kind of deals. And then I'm going to pick a theme for the episode and just tell you a story. Maybe it's relevant. Maybe it's something that's happening right now. And we'll pick that theme, and then hopefully that guest will correlate to what that theme is, and we can talk through it. So I'm excited to try that today. Love to know what you guys think. If you like this format, we're going to continue with it. And maybe we'll continue even when they are in studio, which is our goal, is to have everybody in studio, but with schedules and all things, we will have virtual from time to time. So let's give you a couple more updates. We've got a change on set. Last time I was doing an interview with Zach Green, and we were doing a cheers in the beginning, and we had a certain type of whiskey and bourbon. And I said, if you're a spirit company out there and you want to work together, let's do it. Well, we got one. Very cool. We got Lazy K Bar bourbon right here. This is Lazy K Bar. This is such a cool story. Lazy K was founded by the gentleman that owns the world famous Lazy K Bar Ranch out in Montana, and Cole Hauser, who you guys probably would know as Rip from Yellowstone. Imagine if Rip comes on here and has a conversation. Rip, if you're listening, let's have a bourbon and let's come on and talk about all the things that make you be alive. So we're super excited about that. So I've got to start out by tradition, which is super weird because I'm by myself, but I'm not scared to have a little breakfast whiskey if you know me. So we're going to try this. I did have an encounter with these guys when I was out in, did you hear that? Let's just do that one. Let's do that one more time because it's fun. Oh, yeah. So this was aged 8 years from Big Timber, Montana. Just a cool bottle, too, by the way. I mean, this is just like an amazing bottle. So I am super excited to try this. Now, I know I feel like I'm just partnering the shit out of the front of this thing, but I got to tell you, at the end of the day, I got a new Grizzly, too. So Grizzly is another partner of ours. They've been on for a long time. I love Grizzly. Just got my hunting blinds on the property, but I got my new Grizzly tumbler. It's got Be Alive on it. We're working with them. If you want to get yours, let's make it happen. But Grizzly Be Alive tumbler. So we got our Grizzly and our, just a little nip to start the day. That's what we're going to do. So for all of you that are listening out there, I'm by myself right now. I usually don't drink by myself. I usually have somebody next to me, but I'm going to cheers this. And then when Tim comes on, he's not a drinker. So I just gave away my guest. Dang it. Anyway, you won't know their last name. All right, here we go. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That is super, super smooth. Lazy K Bar bourbon out of Montana. Rip. There we go. So let me tell you a little bit about how this came about. It's a fun story that includes kind of an update of what's happening from all the other brands. Recently, I had the opportunity to worked with another company called Outlaw. Just a fantastic company to work with out of Montana. I also did a podcast with those guys on the Hoary Marmot. It's called. It's going to be fun. We'll make sure we post about it. It was just a lot of fun. But they hold this Wildlands Festival every year. It's in Big Sky, Montana. And it's all about raising money for conservation. Last year, they raised a ton of money for rivers. This year, they raised over $300,000 for conservation. And as you know, some of our core values here at Be Alive are inspire, protect, and explore. And protect, we are all about protecting the places that we play and giving back to conservation in any way that we can. So went out there, Rivers Are Life, one of our brands, supported as well as Be Alive. We got to go to our studio, which is out in Bozeman, meet with the studio team, and a group of us went out to the Wildlands Festival. It was so much fun. So much fun. I mean, to raise $300,000 plus for conservation, to work with those organizations, to have a concert where some incredible music was being played in the middle of Big Sky was just amazing. And I was able to take my daughter with me. So she hadn't been out west yet, and I took her out there, and now she's addicted. That was a mistake on my part. I should have never taken her to Big Sky, but now she's addicted. She wants to go west, and hopefully her career will lead her there. But it was a lot of fun. So to spend time with my daughter, to go out there and check out the amazing music, work with that group. We did a hospitality tent with Rivers of Life and helped raise that kind of money, which was significant for those organizations. I just thought it was an incredible event. We're looking forward to going back again next year. Some of the highlights, we had Lucas Nelson. Lucas Nelson is Willie's son, but Lucas is just a straight up, unbelievably nice guy. Lucas spent time with us while we were there. I love his music. He came up and hung out for a long time, and it was just so cool to get to meet him. I hope to someday have him on the podcast because I'm sure he has an incredible story. I just watched a recent video of him performing with Eddie Vedder, Just Breathe, and it's incredible. But Lucas put on a heck of a concert. It was absolutely incredible. So spend time with him was a lot of fun. And then the next day we had Maren Morris, who also just slayed it. Felt like she was going through some stuff, but she slayed it. And then we had Dierks Bentley, and Dierks Bentley put on a show. I mean, he put on a show. I like Dierks. I like his music. He's also a hockey player. So Dierks I see him on Instagram and stuff. He's done a lot of hockey stuff. So maybe someday we can skate with Dierks. That would be a lot of fun. Do a little one-on-one, little dangles, little tickle the twine together. That'd be a lot of fun. So anyway, we had all those guys out there, and just overall amazing experience. So check it out, Wildlands Festival. And I think we have a video we'll post that is going to be kind of a recap of all of that. But the whole focus of it was raising money for conservation. And again, when you raise over $300,000 in conservation dollars, man, that's great. So, I mean, it's fantastic. So those are some of the updates that I got for you. And I was saving this one right before I got into my story. I get this probably at least, 10 to 12 times a week. Are you doing another dropped? I am proud to say that the answer is yes. We are doing another dropped. It is official. It is Outdoor Channel. We are doing another dropped. It will be next year. We're very excited about this. We have something in the works that is going to be very cool that you could participate. Let's just say that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're putting it together now. It is going to be a blast. I cannot wait to get back out into the Brooks Range or wherever we choose. I know Casey's going through the details right now. We're planning that trip as we speak. It takes about 6 to 8 months of planning and trying to understand what's happening in order for us to do that. So that's where we're at. We're going to be ready to rock and roll. So stay tuned. More on that. But the answer is we will be doing another dropped. Okay. So if you write me, I'm going to refer you back to this podcast to listen because we are doing another drop. So exciting stuff there. So Be Alive on Dropped. It's happening. It's coming in 2025 and 2026. So very cool. We're excited about that. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what the theme is today. Before I get into that, check out these socks. I mean, what the shit, right? These are badass socks. I love crazy socks, right? So these socks right here, someone sent me. It's a brand called Fitting Hey Bear. It's called Hey Bear. Like literally these socks say Hey Bear. And if you know anything about my past, there is a scene in Dropped where a bear kind of slyly comes in to attack us. He was all right. He was within distance. Let's just say his nose bumped up against my shoulder when I was laying in the tent. And it becomes a Hey Bear moment. Knock on wood, everything we've ever done this far, when a bear charges and I yell Hey Bear, it runs the other way. Feel like that's not good advice for anybody that's out there actually getting attacked by a bear, but so far it's worked for me. So I'm very excited about my socks. I love fun, fancy socks, and it's so fun to wear them. And it's just a cool thing. Brightens my day. When I look down, I'm like, hey, I got some good socks on. So thank you, Hey Bear. Check that out, heybear.com, I believe is what it is. But it's really cool. It just happened to be there, and they were like, hey, you need a pair of Hey Bears. You're dang right I do. So I'm super stoked about that. Total right hand there. I just started going down a different avenue because I just happened to adjust my socks and realized I had them on. So, Hey Bear, socks, fun. Let's get into what I'm hoping to bring today with our guest. Perseverance. When I think of this person, I get very excited because he has had just an absolute amazing career of, I've seen him at his highest. I've seen him at his lowest. I've seen all the things. I pay attention from afar. He's an all-around good dude. But there's a lot of things I want to talk to him about throughout that process that he has overcome, and perseverance. And as I was thinking through that, there was a story that came to mind for me recently. I have a mentor. I met with him recently. We're going through all of the launches of all these brands and business, and we're going through kind of this restructure of the entire organization and how this is all coming together, and it's just been an incredible experience. So I meet with a mentor. I suggest if you don't have one, find one, because it is really nice to have someone that you can just literally bounce ideas off of, and they can just tell you through experience. They're not judging you. They're not telling you what to do. They're just telling you what they may have done, or what's, what has relevant to what, their successes have been. And so I go back, when I started thinking about this episode, I go back to a story. When I was put in the position that I'm currently in today as the CEO, I was looking at the books when the business was completely in shambles, and some things that were going on behind the scenes that, I just kind of stepped into, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, we got a lot to fix here. And so the first thing I thought of was, I know a guy. And this gentleman is, he's a fantastic guy, but he also is extremely loaded. Okay. So he's done his time. And I thought to myself, I'll call him, and I'm just going to ask him to fix the problem, and then we're going to work together. It's going to be that simple. So I give him a call, and he was gracious enough to fly his jet into Midland, which I don't have. And he landed. I went and picked him up at the private airport, and we went to the restaurant, and we sat down, and we had a heart-to-heart. And there was another gentleman at the time that was with me, and we were sitting down, and we were having this conversation. And I was telling him everything. I was like, here's where we're at. This is, I've just found out that we're this much in debt, and this is how it's going to happen, and all these things. And we had this client that was on the docket. And so he sat there just silent this whole time. He just sat there, and he listened, and he listened, and he listened. And I talked, as I do. I talk a lot. That's why I have a fucking podcast. So he's telling me nothing. And I'm like, I'm getting nothing from this guy. So eventually I say to him, so what do you think? And he looked at me and he said, this client with Vegas odds, he said, what are the chances that you land it? And I said, 75%. I think we're pretty up there. He said, I would take those odds any day. I would bet on myself. I said, yep, I am. I'm betting on ourselves. I'm betting on our team. I think we can make it happen. But I'm going to need you to write a check. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, if you write the check, you solve my problem. And he looked at me, and just the most profound statement he said to me at the time that has quite honestly shaped a lot of stuff. He looked at me and he said, I can write you a check for exactly what you're looking for. He said, but I cannot rob you of your pour. I cannot rob you of your pour. It hit me like a ton of bricks. First of all, if you know me, I have a very short temper. So I got hot. I got hot fast. I mean, it was like I was ready to speed bag him across the table. But it set in. And what he meant by that, I cannot rob you of your pour, was you are at the bottom of the valley at the moment. And if I shortcut you by giving you this check and move you to the top of the mountain, what are you going to learn? That's what he meant by it. And it took me days to understand, but we got up, he looked at me and he said, hey, dinner's on me. Thanks. He buys dinner and he goes back to his jet. He says, you'll make it happen. Believe in yourself. And he walked away. That was it. Got back on his jet and flew off. And was probably one of the most profound things I've ever had is like just staring at this guy going, you're going to solve my problems. And he said, no, I'm not. You are. And when you're in those lows and you're in the bottom of the valley, I know it's lonely. I've been there. It is so lonely. And you're thinking about all the things that you could do better, all the things that you wish you could do better. But in the end of the day, time heals all of that, right? Perseverance. You have to have perseverance. You have to prevail. You have to get through it. And the people that do, they take the one extra step. So when it gets hard, most people, they change. They start to niche hop. They go, this is the direction I'm going to go. And then that starts to get hard and they go, oh, it's not working out like I thought it was going to be. So now I'm going to niche hop. I'm going to jump over here and I'm going to start to do this now. And because that's not working. Where had they just stayed and persevered an additional 3 to 4 things, they'd have got it. So incredible story of perseverance. And since we did, as a group, we persevered. We didn't need him. We continued to build in the business. It grew. We went from 3 to 5 to 10 to 15 to 25 to all the people that are here today. And I never looked back because it gave me a different perspective. But we'll talk about perspective on a different podcast. But I just thought that was an interesting story of perseverance. And when you're in the valley, just remember you're in the grind. Eventually, you'll get to the top of the mountain. So that's where we're at with that. And that's just a story I wanted to share with you. I'm excited to have our guest. I think that he is going to have an incredible story of perseverance as he joins us today. This guy's awesome. But at the end of the day, we've got Tim Sylvia. He's a former UFC heavyweight champion, a mixed martial artist known for his imposing size and his strength. Trust me, in person, he's a giant. Sylvia's held the UFC heavyweight title twice, and he was a prominent figure in the sport during the early 2000s. I mean, he was at the top of it. But beyond MMA, he's ventured into all kinds of things like professional wrestling. He's done some acting. But one thing I want to talk to him about is hunting. He's hunting with his TV show, The Hit Squad. But it does make him today the current super heavyweight slap fight champion and just general all-around badass, Mr. Tim Sylvia. So I'm super excited to have him on. After the break, we're going to get into it with him and see what he's up to. So stick around, the Be Alive podcast. All right, adventurers, whether you're camping, fishing, hunting, or just enjoying the great outdoors, you need to get that gear that can keep up. That's why we choose and trust Grizzly. It's built tough for every adventure with unmatched durability and performance. Their products are perfect for your next trip into the wild. Plus, they're made in the USA and they come with a lifetime warranty. So why would you settle for anything less? I got to tell you, I have been using Grizzly products for years. I have the original cooler, still ticking today, and they have just moved into the hunting blind market. And I got to tell you, that is the most fantastic hunting blind I have ever seen. I'm very excited to use that this fall. From drinkware to bags, you name it, Grizzly has it all. They're an amazing brand, and they support the outdoorsman. More importantly, they are built to last. So check out grizzlycoolers.com. That's grizzlycoolers.com's Forge Your Own Trail. If you're looking to elevate your outdoor adventures, you've got to check out Mountain Ops supplements. Whether you're hiking, hunting, or hitting the gym, Mountain Ops has you covered with top-notch performance-driven products. Their supplements are designed to enhance your endurance, strength, and recovery, keeping you at peak no matter the challenge. Personally, I've got to tell you that my favorite is Ignite. Every single morning I start out with Ignite. It's an energy, it's a focus. It's definitely my go-to. I also love their ammo protein for lunch, especially in the to-go packs. Guys, I've been with them literally since the beginning, and I got to tell you, I would not choose any other supplement. So Why wait? Head on over to mountainops.com. That's MTNOPS.com, Mountain Ops, and use the code Kiefer, Keefer, for 20% off your order. That's Mountain Ops. Conquer more. All right, everybody, welcome back. We're back from break, and we have got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Tim Sylvia with me. Tim, I did an intro beforehand for those of the people that don't know who you are, which has got to be a very small crowd. But the people that do, we've got you here. How you doing, man? How's it been? How you doing?
I'm good. It's been good, man. Just as you know, what's the date today? I don't even know.
I don't even know either.
12th of 13th?
Yeah.
12th? I start hunting in like 3 days in Missouri.
That's exactly what I wanted to start out talking with you about. I know most people are going to jump into what your background is. I know your background. We're going to get to that. I want to talk to you about hunting season. It's coming. Hunting season is here. How great does that feel?
It feels great, man. As you know, as a deer hunter, you prepare all year. I've been down to the farm doing food plots and trail cameras and doing the supplemental feeding and mineral and all that stuff. And then I got a veteran hunt here in Missouri. I lease some ground off of an outfitter down there, and we just kind of do actually a trade. I bring in blinds and mineral, and I do food plots and stuff like that on there. So I get the run of their grounds, but I pretty much just focus on their 800 that they actually own, and the rest of the stuff goes to all their clients and stuff like that. So it works out good.
That's awesome, man. I find that to be some of the most fun is actually the land management side of it. Like all the prep work going into it. Like you love spending time out there on the farm?
I love doing it. See, it's good for you. You have a brother who's willing to help. I'm an only child, and it's tough finding help doing all that. And literally, if you have just one person helping you, you can cut your time in half, especially when it comes to all that, because they can be out doing the mowing or whatever, or the spraying, and then you can get the planter ready and all. I just got a new planter this year, which I'm really excited about. A no-till drill, that takes away three steps right there. It does it drills it, it cultipacks it, and it seeds it, so it does it all instead of having to spray, and we still got to spray, but instead of having to till and then seed and then cultipack, you just that takes away 3 steps. So it's huge time consuming, but doing it that way, it's a big help.
Oh yeah, that is having the right equipment absolutely speeds up the process. I know, just like for me, I know it's like you start to get anxious. I start putting food plots in way too early. I just get anxious because I want to get out there, I want to do it. Yeah. Then you get those trail cams running, and then all of a sudden it's like Christmas morning, right? I think you're with Reveal as well. Yeah. So you get those reveals, you get the cell cam coming in, and it's like, every day, every morning I wake up, I'm checking those cams.
Every morning I have over 100. I'm like, and I tell myself every morning, do not get on your phone, just go straight to the gym. Nope, I'm on my phone for an hour, and I'm like, I'm late for the gym, so I get up and go to the gym. I haven't looked at my cameras yet this morning. I said to myself, I'll look at it when I get some downtime at work or whatever, and I still haven't looked at them yet. So.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I'm like, don't look at it yet. Just go to the same thing. Go to the gym, and then I find myself in between sets scrolling, and then I'm just sitting there for 25 minutes, and I'm like, now I got it. Now I lost everything, and then I'm like, I might as well. I'm gonna go today. I'm good. I feel good. So
I had a really, really bad experience this morning at the gym.
Oh no.
I'm at the gym. I got to use the restroom, and we have 2 unisex bathrooms upstairs at the YMCA, and so I'm in there doing my thing, and of course I bring my phone out and I'm looking, and apparently I didn't lock the door or it malfunctioned, whatever, but I hear a click and open. I hear this woman's voice, and I look, and she's talking to a gal with the door open, and I'm like, hey, and she just lets a scream out of her and shuts the door, and I'm like, well, now what am I going to do? I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go out there and introduce myself and just say, hopefully this isn't as awkward. You just saw me bare ass on the toilet. Wanted you to know my name at least. But, she was gone. I think she just, her gal just packed up and ran the hell out of there.
Oh, my God.
I didn't see her.
The visual.
And I don't know if I recognize her again. I knew what she was wearing.
Yeah.
And she had white headphones on, so I was like, I can pick her out pretty easy. I didn't see her anywhere. And I don't know if I'll be able to pick her out next time I'm in there if she's in there.
Oh my God! The visual I have of this poor woman, she sees you, and she comes in and it's like, there's Tim Sylvia sitting there going, "Hey, what's up? Good morning." Like that's a scene. That is something.
And she looked cute too, and I'm like, oh geez, it's even worse.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic, Mel. You've been pounding the gym a lot lately. I saw you were posting about it. You're down and you're trying to kind of get back into some things there with the weight loss and all that stuff. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Well, I got a new knee
Yep.
back in January, and the weight just started coming off by doing physical therapy and rehab, and I was like, huh, this seems kind of easy right now. I don't, it just getting a new knee changed my life again. I was down and out for about 8 years. It just hurt so much and just being lazy and not doing anything.
Yep.
And I started doing rehab 3 times a week with them and twice on my own, and the weight just started coming off. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna roll with this. I'm gonna start doing what I know how to do, and that's lift weights and eat better.
Yeah.
So I've been doing.
Yeah.
it.
I mean, you did that your entire career.
Right. Yeah. So I'm down about 70 pounds.
Oh man,
I'm
that's
done being
fantastic.
a fat ass. So
That's fantastic.
340 right now, and that my first goal weight was 350, and I made that, and then my next one has been 325, and that one's coming hotter, and then we'll see how that comes, and if I finally get there and I feel good, I might shoot for 300, or I might just stay there. I don't know yet.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic, man. You got to feel better, getting around better. Probably it's all, and then especially with the knee. Anytime you can fix a problem like that, that's got to be huge for you.
Yeah, it was. It really was. I was gonna get the other one done 6 weeks after, and then I'm glad I didn't. And then I was thinking about doing it this winter again, but I'm like, no, not yet. I can still. It's not giving me that much of a problem as the other one was, so I'll just kind of wait maybe another year and see what happens.
Yeah, that's incredible. So before the podcast started, I was talking about perseverance. It was actually just a little bit about to be alive, and be alive is about living your best life, being alive, right? Like, and it all started with that, and it's kind of spun up into something amazing, and we're super excited about it. But we were talking about perseverance, and one of the things I mentioned was you've had a lot of injuries you've had to persevere through in your career. And, I know you had some arm injuries, some knee injuries. I mean, all kinds. I can only imagine, how many injuries you've fought through. What's that mentality like to know, like, no matter what, like, you're going in there. I mean, that was your job, but you were like, I'm just getting through this. I'm pushing through. And I got to imagine there's times where you were pushing through some pretty bad injuries, but still showing up to the Octagon and getting after it. I mean, what's that mental state like? Is it tough
You
for
don't
you
really
to
think
get
about
in that mode?
no,
No.
it wasn't. You're just hungry, angry, and pissed off at the world. Fight camps suck.
Yeah.
Training MMA was awesome, fun. Hey, we had a good camp. We had a good crew. That was fun, the camaraderie and all that stuff. But fight camps, when done right, they're meant to break you down, rebuild you, be physically impossible to do. You're not going to have any good nights.
Yeah.
You're getting beat up the whole time. You're dieting the whole time. They're miserable.
Yeah.
So the reward at the end of those fight camps is you get to fight. You get to punch somebody in the face and go out there and have a really good time.
Yep.
So, yeah, injuries happen. I don't think I ever fought healthy, but that's just the way of the game. That's the way we all were. And back when I was fighting, you weren't covered under any kind of insurance unless you fought. Nowadays, the UFC, once they sign the contract, they're covered under insurance. So you see a lot of the guys in fights being canceled or pulling out because they're injured and they don't continue. Back in the day when I was fighting, we were all fighting injured, every single one of us, just so we could get it covered under workers' comp, so we didn't have to pay for it ourselves. I fought Randy. Probably one of the worst injuries I had, I think, was when I fought Randy.
Randy Couture.
I had two bulge discs going into the fight. Way overconfident. I'm like, I'm just gonna go in there and knock him out real quick. And next thing I know, we fought for 25 minutes. I blew another one out during the fight, and I was miserable. Miserable. It was just so bad. And then I had back surgery, and I came out of anesthesia, and I'm like, I gotta go pee. Swept my legs around and stood up, and the nurse is like, "Whoa, settle down." I'm like, "I feel great." She's like, "Well, that's probably because you just had surgery and you're on pain meds. So let's sit back down and make sure you get there without falling down." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So it's interesting you say that. So because Randy's an outdoorsman as well. So talk to me a little bit about. I know you've had some relationships there. Matt Hughes, obviously, I think you go. He was in the camp for a long time, and Matt, back in the day, we were always at ATA together. And I do want to touch a little bit on how we met and at some of those things. But with someone like that, you get into a 25-minute knockdown, going to drag out, knockout fight. At the end of that, is there respect for each other as warriors when you're there? Like, you have that respect level. Was that always something that you wanted to do, or was there pure hatred along the way and some guys you didn't? Like, was it just case by case. I know in hockey, like we fight in hockey and we're done. We're like, hey, good job. Nice job. You know what I mean? And it goes on. How does that work in your space?
Fighting for me was case by case. And that was another problem I had with Randy. Randy and I are very good friends. He's one of my best friends today. I help him with this charity event every year up here in the Quad Cities. We established it. And I trained with Randy. He flew me out to Oregon on 2 separate occasions, had me come to Vegas, help him get ready for Chuck when he dropped 205 and stuff like that. So very, very good friends. And that was a problem for me. I always needed some kind of animosity, hatred or something when I fought someone.
Yeah.
After the fight was over with, I could be all said and done with that. But I needed something to make me click, and I didn't have that with Randy. And it's funny because Randy and I talked about that, years afterwards, and he's like, I knew the fight with you and I was going to be a problem for you because you always needed animosity, and I knew you wasn't going to have that with me. I'm like, you're absolutely right. He's like, I grew up with that. He goes, I was wrestling since I was 5 years old, so me and my teammates would go to national championships, and we'd end up wrestling each other. And one of us had to win, one of us had to lose. And on the bus ride home, one of us, we were still pissed off, but we're still friends and brothers. Yeah. And he goes, I just knew you couldn't transform that over with me. And I thought I had an upper hand. And I'm like, oh, you absolutely did.
Yeah. Well, I could see where that would be a huge upper hand is if you're always looking for that little something, that animosity, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, that's my buddy, but also I'm trying to be mad at him. I'm trying to be, but I know him on a deeper level. That has to transcend a little bit mentally, going into it for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was. No doubt about it.
Oh, that's incredible, man. Well, let me back up for just a second, just for everybody that's listening. And the Maniac is your fight name, the Maniac Tim Sylvia. That came from Maine, correct? Like that kind of all falls together. But it started with you being born and raised in Maine, right?
Yep.
Is that where the love of the outdoors started? Is that where it started? Is in Maine?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I started hunting like when I was 12 years old. Couldn't wait to get that single gauge. 12 gauge, single shot 12 gauge. I'll have to go out there and hunt for whitetails, and I partridge hunted and stuff, and woodcock and stuff like that. But we didn't have turkeys back when I was there, and obviously did some bear hunting, but I never really hunted over bait and stuff like that. Always tried to moose hunt and never could get drawn for the tag, and now it seems like everyone gets drawn for the tag. I still try, but I still don't get it. But that's definitely a dream of mine to go back to Maine and hunt moose. Yeah, and I got a lot of friends, trying to get that tag. So in Maine, you can put somebody on the application with you. So if a good buddy of mine gets it in Maine, I can go hunt with him. And I can
that'd be cool.
Do the harvest as well. Yeah, so I definitely want to do that. And I haven't shot a Maine bear. I always shoot all of the black bears I shoot are always in Canada and stuff. So
you haven't got a Maine black bear yet. Too. And Maine does something different out there, which I think is interesting, at least from the guys that I know that are from there. Maybe you can confirm this. I was hunting with a guy one time. I was guiding him, and he looks over, and there's this buck walking out, and I was guiding him, and it was in my world, it was like 115-inch deer. Okay, and he kept saying, "That's a 200. That's a 200. That's a 200." And I'm going, "It's not." Pounder. He goes, "He's 200." 200 pounder. And it was a pounder. And I'm like, "Buddy, that is not a 200." And he's like, I'm like, "He's 115." He's like, "No way!" And he's yelling at me. And we realized we had our wires crossed. He kept saying pounder, and so that is something that is real. Where they're like, "Hey, I'm going for the poundage," right?
Yeah,
like that's a big.
Oh
thing.
Yeah, so it's funny whenever I get a deer here in Iowa and stuff. All my relatives and friends are like, what do you weigh? What do you weigh? I'm like, I have no idea. We don't really weigh them here in Iowa. We're more about scoring and age,
Yeah, it's a Maine thing.
In Maine, I mean, it's I never saw a buck the 10 years that I lived there to shoot at. Yeah. I mean, the Maine is so hard hunting that it sucks because we have the same woods as Canada. In Canada, you can bait, and in Maine, you can't. Yep. And it's it's so hard to see those deer in Maine that we don't have the soil for food plots and stuff like that. And it's tough, man. It really is tough hunting in Maine. Like I said, I never got a deer the whole time I lived in Maine. The first time I hunted in Iowa, we were shotgun potty and hunting, and I killed 7 deer on the weekend. I'm like, oh my. Yeah. This is amazing.
This is how you do it. They just changed that rule, I think. Didn't they just change that rule too in Iowa or something with party hunting? I think they just changed, right?
So what happened is out-of-staters can no longer get a doe tag and go party hunting with a resident and use their buck tag. Got it. I
knew there was some change there that I knew was coming.
I'm not 100% positive on that, but I believe that's how it worked. Yeah. Because the loophole was all the out-of-staters were getting
Oh yeah.
doe tags, then going to hunt in Iowa with friends, or even like a lot of shady shit was going on. A lot of outfitters been getting busted for this. The outfitters there in Iowa, they'll go around and get all the elderly. They'll give them $500 for a buck tag to go
Yep.
get it, and then this non-resident comes in and gives them, $5,000 to shoot an Iowa buck, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, we got tags for you.
So they stopped the non-resident
So
side of that. I mean, that's good. Listen, I
I
always knew. I always knew.
think I'm not 100% positive on that.
Okay.
To be honest with you, Chris, but
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
Okay. Yeah, I always knew it was there. I always knew. I never did it. I never party hunted like this. I always would just draw an archery or a late season muzzleloader was always easier for me to grab because I could do 2 years on that, and I love that season. So I never did the party hunt. I know a lot of guys that did, and they would do that. They'd be like, "Well, I got a doe tag. I'm going down there," and I'm like, "Oh, well, I guess you can." But I'd never done it before. So, and I knew there was a change. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm sure someone's going to tell us. Trust me, we'll put this out, and they're going to give us a whole spiel in the damn comments.
I don't know exactly what it is,
Yeah.
and honestly, I really don't care.
So lay off our asses if we're wrong there. Comment people.
Yeah.
I
I'm an
hate those.
Iowa resident, and I give three buck tags. So
Yeah, you get to do it
I'm
anyway.
good.
So looking back, all the times, like you've got all these amazing memories and all the stuff you've done. What do you have in your mind from a hunting space? Just from the outdoors and the hunting. Do you have a favorite memory? Do you have one that like a core memory of like, is it when you were younger? Is it something in recently? I know you've done a lot of stuff in the outdoors, but is there just a core memory that comes to you when it comes to hunting and being outside?
I mean, there's a few different things. I mean, one of the really cool things for me was, I grew up watching hunting and stuff like that, and my first ATA I ever went to was in Atlanta, and I was the heavyweight champ when I went. I went with some buddies here in Iowa. They were trying to do a DVD thing, and I partnered up with them. And I had no idea how big I was in the hunting industry. Yeah. And one of the coolest things ever was I'm walking down the aisle and I hear my name being yelled, and I look and there's Cuz Strickland running down the aisle.
That's awesome.
Running to meet me. I'm like, oh my God.
The OG Godfather, Cuz.
I know, right? He just starts talking to me, and I'm like, oh my God, this is Cuz. You know, we just became friends, and he's like, I want you to wear mossy yoke. I'm like, I think I do. He's like, no, I see pictures. You wear both. I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't even know. But yeah, I mean, and that first ATA was just amazing for me because of all the, the big fan of the Drury's, Lee and Tiff and all them, and Mark and Terry, like, which one? Oh, Terry came down the elevator and he started. He's like, man, I want you to be my brother. We're big fight fans, and he called him, and Mark comes down and opens the elevator, sees me standing with Terry, and he's like, nope, no fucking way. Tries closing it, and I'm like, what? And then we stop the elevator, and he's like, I saw what you did the other night. I'm like, what? He's like, I saw you choke that guy out. You ain't choking me out. I have no reason to. I mean, he's like, I thought, Terry's trying to get you to, choke me out or something. I'm like, no.
That's great.
Yeah, there was some jerk. There was some jerk off there at the ATA that kept getting drunk, and he just kept messing with me. I don't drink, so I don't deal well with drunks. And I finally just had enough of it, and I grabbed him right in the lobby at the hotel that was hosting the ATA, and I choked him unconscious and left him there. And he had a pretty gal with him. And I grabbed her, and her and I went upstairs.
Oh, that's the best ever. I'm going to choke you out. I'm taking your girl.
That.
And we're done. And thanks for coming. Then she turns around and
do about it.
her man's laying on the ground, choked out. And then you're going to meet Terry Drury. And well, that is an incredibly unique story. And Mark and Terry are like, first of all, the salt of the earth, unbelievable.
Yes.
I mean, as Chris and Casey Kiefer brothers, and then having like the Drury brothers, they were like, they were iconic. They still are. They're the most they've been so gracious. Of all the people that I know in the outdoor industry, the egos that are out there, they have just been so gracious. Anytime I've ever called or talked to Mark or Terry, any of that stuff, they pick up, they call, they text back. They just they're the first ones to say, hey, I watched this great show tonight. Like, they're just like incredible. And so it's awesome that you got your start through those two guys as well. They deserve all the credit in the world because that was dream season, celebrity season.
Yeah, that was like in 2010. So, we remained friends we're still friends, but it took 6 years, and actually, like 5 years, I think I got on the show. They took me turkey hunting at Mark's farm in Iowa, and we turkey hunted, killed a nice turkey, and hung out and stuff. And that's when they just started Bow Madness, I think, and they
Yeah.
showed me the the first one or whatever, and we watched whatever, and I thought it was cool and stuff. And then they said, "Well, would you ever want to do a dream season?" I'm like, "I love dream season. That thing's awesome. Like, we've been thinking about doing a celebrity version, and we've got a few other celebrities involved." I said, "I'd be up for it." And then literally, it happened that quickly. The next year, they said, "Hey, we want to do this.
Awesome.
We think this is gonna be big." So
And
yeah, I did it, and
you got the Lindsays on that one, so you're like dialed right out of the gate.
I know all three Iowa residents with their own farms. Yeah, it worked out pretty good.
Fantastic, man.
And we were stacked.
I was just thinking back. I'm almost positive that I was at the. I know I was at the ATA that you choked the man out. Like, it just hit me. Like, I was like, I remember being in the lobby, and the rumors started flying around. They're like, Tim Sylvia just choked a man out and took his girl. I'm like, as a matter of fact, I might even know the guy you did it to, which is fantastic. I think the drunk guy in the lobby.
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking I don't recall really meeting you guys and stuff until like a couple of years later, from what I recall. I was a fan of you guys' show and stuff like that, and so I thought it was really cool to meet you. I don't know which one of you I met first, because I can look at both of you and I know both your names.
Yeah.
But when you're separate, that screws me up.
Yeah, that does my mom too, so it's fine.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Now you guys are not twins either, are you?
No, I'm 4 years older than Casey. Yeah, Casey's got the bigger red beard, and then I'm actually 4 years older than him.
Yeah, well, Casey's a little bit bigger than you.
Yeah,
so
he's bigger than me.
When I see you guys, it's easy to figure out which one's which, but when I see you separately, it screws me up.
Yeah, we actually, so it's PSE, I think, is the first time we really met. We were like through the PSE world, because I think we were at PSE. I want to say you were at PSE as well, something like that. And I remember an ATA specifically, and it was a fantastic story. You came in, we'd met, we shook hands, we got off, like hit it off right out of the gate. And we were big fans of you and what you've done in the MMA sport. And then I remember there was a time like you were walking down the aisle. Casey was facing a different direction. I don't know if you remember this or not. Casey's facing a different direction, and you came up behind and slapped him in the ass so hard, and he flew. Okay, so he went like, literally, he moved like 15 feet into the aisle, and he turned around and Casey's got a hot temper. He turns around and he goes, "Okay, I can take that one. I'll take that on the ass." And he looked at you, and you were like, and you just kept walking. So later on, you're walking, and he comes up behind you, and he's like, "I'm going to get him." And he went to slap you, and he hit you in the ass, and you never moved a foot. You just turned around and looked at him and chased him. He took off. I thought that was the funniest thing, because he flew 10 feet. You didn't move 1 inch. He turned around, and I mean, he was just like, "Okay, I know my role here. I'm done." So I don't know if you remember that, but it was funnier than hell for me.
I do remember it briefly. That's kind of my thing. Like, I always like friends or people that I'll just give them the hottest slap I can give them on the ass. Just say, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah. Oh God, I laughed so hard, and then I ran.
I did it to Pigman back when he was really cool and we were friends. But I don't know what's happened to him. He's turned into an asshole.
Yeah.
But I did it to him. Yeah, I know. I did it to him, man, and he was pissed and turned around. He's like, "Ah, shit." But I think I did it. I think I did it to him after he kind of had that turning point to where he became an asshole. I don't know, but I think I did it to Brackett too. Brackett used to be a really really good friend of mine, and took me bow fishing and stuff. And then he turned into a jackass, and we all know about that story. And so I love doing it to people like that turn into, they used to be really awesome people, cool people, friends of mine, and then turned into assholes. So it worked out good for those
It's
two.
crazy how the outdoor industry was for the longest time. I mean, everybody does talk about the good old days. I think we came in at the right time. It was ripe. There was Lee and Tiffany. There was the Waddells, obviously the people that paved the way. And then we kind of came in with like Heartland Bowhunter, and Casey and I came in with some stuff, and it was like a different wave. It was a different level of production. It was a little bit different of a story. And then it's really, since then, the innovation has just gone away. It's just everybody's spaced out. Things have happened. People got egos, and it just went away. It's just weird how like that whole industry that was so high at one point, just boom. It's just weird. All right, let's talk about Bass Pro and Cabela's. Wherever your adventure takes you, count on Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's to make it memorable. I know I've been doing that for over 20 years as an incredible partner, Bass Pro and Cabela's, and not to mention a vacation destination. If you have never been to one of these Bass Pro and Cabela's, load up the family. Make it a trip. I'm telling you, between the aquariums and all the fun stuff they have there, not to mention the top gear on the planet, Bass Pro and Cabela's, get your family outfitted with the right gear with premium brands like Worldwide Sportsman, Ascend, Redhead, Natural Reflections. They got it all. They got all the apparel and gear to make it your best adventure ever. So stop by today to one of their kind shopping experience stores, or you can also shop online. I've done it a lot, more than I'd like to admit. BassPro.com and Cabela's.com. See for yourself at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. So we were talking about the outdoor industry and just like that world. Like we hit it at the sweet spot, and then it just like, I don't know, man. For whatever reason, there was just the egos and the people. Like I always looked at them like, man, we're not walking. We're not getting Academy Awards here. Like, we're blessed to do what we're doing. Like, we're hunting for a living. Like, I don't understand why the egos in the industry. I mean, how many egos have you run into that have just
getting paid? And
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Too many. And then, COVID has ruined the ATA now.
Yeah.
But about probably, it's safe to say 2 or 3 years before that, it was all the bedazzled dudes in jeans with a hot chick holding hands walking down the aisle thinking they're going to be the next Lee and Tiffany. And they were that was a cluster, because that ruined why a lot of us were going to the shows to talk to our sponsors, meet with our sponsors, renew our contracts and all that stuff. Well, a lot of that stopped happening because all those jerk offs ended up getting in there out of a media badge or whatever. And then, then the bigger names, were getting bugged by people that shouldn't have getting bugged by, just so you can go there and get autographs and meet these people and rub elbows with them and stuff like that. So it's just not what it used to be. I feel like the NWTF is kind of taking over, and that's a really good show, even though it's public and it's really busy. But that's a good show because of the nightlife. Like, everybody in the industry can get to do those fun things in the evening after the show's over and stuff, and we all hang out. And that's a really good time now. But I didn't go last year because of my knee surgery. But unfortunately, I think I don't know what's going to happen with the ATA. And they really keep robbing the poor vendors, man. I had no idea what vendors got to spend to go to those shows.
Astronomical.
And they're like, it's just not worth it. They can save $250,000 by not even going and doing everything through emails and online and the phone and stuff. And that's a lot of money for budget.
It is. I stopped going in about 2019, the year before COVID. I didn't go, and I hadn't been since. And last year, Casey and I we scooted down for a day. We're like, let's go for a day. We went down there. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, a day, I was done. I was done in half a day. I went around, I saw some of the guys, I was done. And I was like, this is not even close, And I did do NWTF.
Yeah, well, I've been started
for the first time. The NWTF was amazing. So that's the first time I've done NWTF, and I agree with you. That is the ATA of 20 years ago. There was so much fun. I took my daughter with me. We ended up going honky tonkin' down on down in Nashville, like in Main Street, a couple times. We came back to the Opry. Like, it was so much fun, and just a different crowd. Everybody was happy, and it wasn't TV driven. It was just people. It was just good people that wanted to have a good time. So I thought that was really cool.
Yep, I agree. I don't know what's going to happen. And that SHOT Show is just, it's Vegas, man. It's I
can't even imagine.
I've lived there, my whole life of training and fighting and stuff. I was in Vegas all the time, and I'm just not a fan of Vegas. The only cool thing is the wife took me to Vegas a couple times, and this last time we went, it was really cool because I've always been to Vegas, and I was in fight camps or training and stuff like that, and we went around and just found all the food things that I love, and man, we ate like kings.
I bet.
And it was pretty awesome.
There was I'm trying to think. You fought Orlovsky, and we had an ATA show, or it was SHOT. You might have fought him in. You fight him in Vegas? Was there a SHOT show? It was something during that because I went to the fight.
I did, but no, I fought Nagara at the SHOT show, and I was winning all 4 rounds, and then I got choked out at the very end of the fourth
Yep.
round, and oh man, I was
Yeah,
so
I went to
pissed
that
off.
fight.
But yeah, there was it was the shot
I actually
show,
went with the
yeah,
juries.
because we
I might have went with
Michael,
the juries. I think I did.
yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Wardell sat with some of my guys, and I guess he got pretty lit up, and he was screaming, "Roll him like a bale of hay, Tim! Roll him like a bale of hay!" He's got some of the funniest and crazy sayings. That's what makes him so
Oh,
entertainable
there's
and likable
nobody.
is the stuff that comes
There's
out of his
nobody in an
mouth.
industry like Waddy. He's just for
So,
him. He has paved the way for all of us to do what we do, and there's no denying it. Period. And he's got the greatest personality, and there's just
no,
nothing about him that I don't like. He's a good dude, and I don't care if he makes fun of me for being undropped and doing all the fun things. It's in jest, and I love it. Like he'll put stuff out about the funny thing, and I think it's great. I love it. I think it's like the best thing in the world. I mean, we have a good relationship. He came and killed a turkey with me. I'll never pick up a turkey call in front of Michael Waddell in my life. He literally put a mouth call in. It sounded like there
oh
was
yeah,
150 birds that were in front of me. I didn't know what was going on. He shot one, shot a second. I'm like, what is happening? We're just sitting here. He killed these two birds. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. I'm like, yep, this is the greatest experience of my life. So it was amazing. So I loved hunting with him. So he's a good dude.
yeah. It's kind of with Mark with Terry. You world champion turkey callers. They know what's
Oh
going
yeah,
on,
yeah.
man.
They're not going to mess around. And I just
Just sit there and
and
hold the
no
gun.
ego, and they just love to share in the sport of hunting, which is awesome. So very cool, man. Well, I know you're doing Hit Squad, and you guys are doing a great job there. I love seeing the stuff that you're working on there. But then you've recently, and I want to get into this for a second. You are the super heavyweight champion of slap fighting. Jesus, what in the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing slap fighting? I saw you knock a man into literal oblivion, and I was like, this is amazing. I just immediately fell in love with it. I think it's just a cool thing. Tell me about slap fight, and how in the hell did you get involved in slap fight?
Man, it's been out for a
Yeah,
few years now, and I was just kind of a fan of it. And I watched a lot of it on the internet, and then there was two heavyweights that went at it, and I was just like, this shit looks fun. I commented on it, and immediately the promoter hit me up. He's like, Champ,
yeah,
big fan. Would love to have you come to one of my live events, and I'll do whatever it takes to get you there. You could even be a catcher. So I went to it, and I was a catcher, and guys were getting knocked out, and I was
yeah.
catching them and stuff, and there was two super heavyweights that were supposed to go, and one chickened out, and I said, "Well, I'll do it." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I'll do it. I don't care." And they're like, the other guy's like, "No, I don't think so." But and then the promoter's like, "Dude, if this is something you really want to do and you're serious about it, I'll put it together, but I need to promote it. I'm not just gonna let you jump in here and do this and no one knows you're doing it because
Yeah.
this could be big." So yeah, that's what I went home and he called me up and he's like, "You serious?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, start doing whatever you got to do because I'm gonna put together one for you." And he did. And I went there and knocked that guy out, and it
Oh
was
my
fun.
God, that's so great.
So
I
then I
love
did
that
it
you're like,
again,
it's fun. So you look at a guy getting knocked
and a
out,
title
getting
shot.
slapped. You're like, this looks fun. This looks great. Let's do it. And then you're in.
Well, when you fight grown ass men for 16 years and you punch each other in the face for 25 minutes, a slap here and there is nothing to
I
me.
love it, man. I absolutely love it. I love it. I've seen it. I watched your last one, and I was trying to get on like, whatever the Rumble or Dawson or something, and I was like, and we were sitting around, and I was like, I gotta see if I mean, he's gonna knock this guy out, and you had a fantastic, the one in June that you just did, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be fantastic. Yeah, was it
Yeah,
Neanderthal that you fought there? Yeah.
yeah,
So that was.
yeah. He was the undefeated champion. Yeah, he was 6'6", 340 or something. So it was a good
So you
showing
got
for
two
me.
big guys that are like you slap me like that. I'm literally I'm injured for a long time. Like I could have serious damage. So you got to stay with the super
You,
heavyweights to hit them that hard,
you would,
right?
yeah, you would definitely go to sleep for probably more than one day.
So,
Well, you can find out if you
yeah, no,
want.
dude, I'm good. I'm good. You've already slapped me once in the ass. I'll take that, and that hurt. I don't need to be knocked out in the head. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Oh God, it's so great. Well, it's amazing. So you got one coming up, or is it like, are you on a break right now? Or are you guys going to kind of plan another one for the fall, or is it going to be next year? Or what's your
um,
plans?
well, as you know, hunting season's coming up, so it's pretty hard for me to train to get away from that. But the problem is between Neanderthal and him and I cleaned out the division, and I beat him so
Yeah,
easily that there isn't really anybody that makes sense for me to go against right now. So they're gonna hold a super heavyweight tournament, and then the winner will get a
awesome.
title shot. So they're kind of putting that together. But now they got a couple different events on ESPN. Have you seen Kai Jiu Jitsu?
No, I have not. Talk to me about that.
Two guys are in a front seat of a car, seatbelt in, and then the horn goes off, and they got to try to submit one another in a vehicle.
In a vehicle?
And they can use seatbelts and stuff like that. So they're doing that's on ESPN now. And I lost.
No,
it's
just they're looking up the car jiu-jitsu to see if there's anything that pops up here. So they're looking at this. And,
okay, there you go.
Yeah,
that's
so
it,
I'm
right
looking
there.
at this right now, the car jiu-jitsu, and you get in here, get in the vehicle, strap in, and then you guys got to submit it. So you got to submit. So could you punch, or you just got to choke them out?
No striking at all.
So
it has to be
just jiu-jitsu.
Choke or armbar or something. Yeah. Just jiu-jitsu.
This looks like my brother and I trying to get the keys off each other when we were 16 years old. Like, and then you got Top and the guy.
So that's one event they're doing, and then the other event that they're doing is tire wrestling.
Tire wrestling. Okay, so what are we doing there? We got there it is right there, popped up first thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big ass tire, and then the objective is to put the other guy in the tire.
You got to pick him up and put him in that tire. That's amazing. Yeah,
yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that next.
That is amazing, dude. I could just see you right now slamming some guy into this tire. These look like some lightweights here or something, but that's like.
I'm going to suplex. I'm gonna suplex the guy and put him in it.
Fantastic. I do not want to be on the other end of that, but I see what that is now, and I am watching. I am in 100% on both because I want to see, like, what if they put you in a small car? Like, you're in a tiny car, is like the same size.
I can't do jiu-jitsu. There's no way I can do it, bro. I can't fit. I mean, I can't even. I have to drive 3/4 ton trucks.
They'd have to give you a truck. Like, there's just no way. You just crush the guy.
Well, we were shooting the shit about it. It's like, we could maybe do bus jiu-jitsu, where we could get an old bus and just the two of us sit in the bench seat and go at it or something. I don't know, but it ain't happening in any compact car that they have for car jiu-jitsu. I can tell you that right now. No, that is not
happening.
I couldn't move. I mean, there's no way I can. I mean, I have my arms and that's about it. But I struggle just trying to get seatbelts on sometimes in those little
there's
vehicles.
No way.
You know, when you have to get the Ubers and stuff, and I'm cheap, man. I'm so cheap, and when it comes to Ubers, I don't even get the XLs.
Just get whatever comes, the comfort that comes, and then the guy goes, "Oh shit, no, I got it, and you jump in. That's amazing. That's amazing, man. Well, listen, you've had an incredible career. Obviously, 2-time heavyweight champ in the UFC. Hunting has been a big part of your life, which I love, and I love that that's kind of a thing that you love to do now. And do you think, like, juggling between that professional life, like where you've got crowds of, selling out stadiums, heavyweight champion, all those things, and then now you're kind of that solace of the woods. Like, do you find solace in that now, this stage in your career? Like, do you find kind of like a little bit of peace out there when you're in the woods? I know for me, it's super peaceful for me to just sit there. Like, do you find that comfort there, do you think?
Yeah. I do, yeah. I mean, there's nothing better than just getting in a tree in the pitch dark and then watching the world wake up and the sun coming up, and then all of a sudden, just before the sun goes up, the birds start chirping, the squirrels start moving around and stuff, and yeah, man, that's so peaceful. And
it's the thing that draws us to it.
Do a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking and stuff, and I as crazy as this sounds, I wouldn't want to do it without a cameraman either, just because I like that extra, like, when you get bored and stuff, it's just like nice to turn around and talk to someone or whatever, It's just nice to have somebody there to talk to. For me, anyway.
No, dude, it was 20 years we've been hunting with this, with a camera guy, and I've had the privilege of having maybe 3, like, the entire time, like the same 3 guys, and they've gone on to have great careers, and they're all filming everywhere and continuing to build. But, like, last year, I just, we're building this business, building the production, the media company up, and I didn't have a lot of time to do it. And we're not really on the Outdoor Channel anymore, except for Dropped, and then we do a lot of stuff on YouTube. So I didn't really need to film as much as I used to. I just really like to film my adventures, put it on YouTube, that kind of stuff. And so anyway, I went down and I did a self-filming, and I shot a deer, and I just turned around out of just pure habit and was like, there's nobody there. Like, I literally, like, turned around and I was like, shit, I'm by myself. Like it was like I'd done that for 20 years, and then now this year I'm like, all right, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Like, who's coming with me? We're gonna have some fun, and we're going back to that. So, but it is fun. I love having somebody with me, and it does. It's like you're bored halfway through, and you get the giggles going, or you start laughing, or there's all those things that you those memories, and it's fun, man. I love having someone in the tree with me. It's harder,
Yeah.
but I do love. You got to hang a double set, and there's always a perfect tree, but you need to hang a second
Yeah.
one. You're like, well, I can't. That doesn't work,
Yeah.
but it is a lot of fun to have somebody with you. So, well,
Yeah,
after
I
all of
agree.
that, after everything you've been through, I know you know, the highs, the lows, some of that perseverance of fighting through injuries, fighting through career, doing all the things that you've done. Like, what advice do you give athletes or guys get it? What do you think is some of the advice you would give to somebody, that's maybe just getting into it today? Like, is there something that you've learned along the way that maybe, is like, oh man, if I look back, if I just had more patience, or if I just, done this, is there anything that springs to mind that would be advice to the new guys getting into sport today?
New guys get into MMA, man. You got to get with a good gym. You got to get with a good manager and good
Yeah,
trainers. And if you do get into big leagues, it can be over just as fast as it
yeah,
started. So
it's quick.
invest, be smart with your money and stuff. It doesn't last forever.
Yeah,
You're always thinking, yeah. There was, I was very fortunate. I did pretty well with my money. I bought some land in Iowa, built a cabin on it and stuff. It's all free and clear and stuff.
that's good.
But there's a lot of athletes that just don't do that, and I'm lucky now. I've got a few businesses and stuff, with the hunting show and the roofing business, and I just started an ATM BOS system business, T-shirt line, things like
Yep.
that. So I got my hands in a little bit of everything, but not everybody can do that, and a lot of the athletes are struggling, and they struggle with addiction and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and because you're always in pain, and when you get out of it, you're always in pain, and you're always fighting for that high that you get when you're walking out to the cage and the crowd is roaring, and you're always chasing that, it seems. And I think that's what's kind of drawing me to slap fighting as well. Is I'm a performer, I'm an
yeah.
entertainer, and I like that live crowd, and I love getting my hand raised at the end of a combat
Yeah, that's
sport.
got to be amazing just to have that feeling, that gladiator type feeling at the end of it. And with slap fighting,
Yeah,
you're staring the sumbitch right in the face, and it's coming, right? And so it's like, let's go. So
yeah,
you're
I
looking
love
at
it.
him in the face. The maniac is across from you, and you're
Sure.
about to just piss pound this guy in the face with a slap, and he's got to brace for it. So it's got to, it's got to be an adrenaline rush like no
Yeah,
other.
definitely. But the last guy too, the Neanderthal, he was trying to. I don't know what he was trying to do, but right before the match and stuff. But he's just like trying to stare me down and stuff like that. So, dude, first of all, I'm taller than you. I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. And I'm a 5-time UFC heavyweight champion. You're not going to
Yeah.
intimidate me, bro. So I think he was trying, but I don't think it wasn't working for
Oh
him at
God,
all.
man, that's amazing. Well, listen, man, I followed you through your career. I was always impressed at how you handled yourself. I love that you are just a man of the people. We see each other at the ATA. You've always been super kind. Everybody that've ever seen you be around, it's just it's awesome to see. You're humble in that aspect. You just like to be around the right people. I also have seen you when they're the wrong people, which I love. You're very opinionated, and I think that's fantastic. You're like, you know what? If you're a douchebag, you're a douchebag, and that's how it goes. And I love that
Yeah,
mentality. I think it's
definitely.
great. I think you've really done an amazing job, and I just appreciate you taking the time. I know I kind of called in a favor here, and as we get this thing going, and it was just one of those things where I thought you'd be an amazing story for the listeners, for everybody to talk to, and your passion for the outdoors and just all that stuff. And I always try to figure it out at the end. We talk about Be Alive, and what is it? Be Alive is, it's an energy. It's something that you feel like there's a moment like you just talked about. Do you think that is, or what is your Be Alive moment? Is it entering the ring? Is it when your hand goes up? Like, what's that moment that makes you the most alive? Or is it shooting at one of those big bucks? Like, what do you think is probably right now in your life your Be Alive moment?
Mm, man, I don't know. I'm very blessed. I do a lot of concerts during concert season, so I rub elbows with a lot of these big country singers, which is pretty cool. Something was really awesome this summer. I went to
Yep.
Luke Combs' concert at the Iowa Speedway. It was about 60,000 people there. Luke Combs performing. I'm
Yep.
friends with him. I'm good buddies with his manager. I brought the belt because I wanted
That's
Luke to
awesome.
sign it, and they know I don't drink, but his manager's like, hey, you want to shotgun a beer with Luke on stage? I'm like, fuck yeah. I had the belt on, and we walked out there with our beers, and I shotgun a beer with Luke Combs in front of 60,000 people at the Iowa Speedway. Got my ass kicked because that dude can shoot a gun. Oh my God, can you shotgun a beer? But he was like, right afterwards, he's like, man, I saw your big ass over there. He's like, I didn't know how I was gonna do against you. I'm like, come on. So he was all done. That was definitely Be Alive.
That is awesome. That's a damn
awesome.
good moment.
And then again this summer, I'm a huge Nickelback fan, huge, and I become friends with the bass guitar Mike. He's a big jiu-jitsu guy, and we finally met last summer at a Brentley Gilbert concert. And then this year they were playing in Wisconsin. I asked him if I was coming up. He's like, yeah, come on up, man. I got you. And I said, I'm gonna bring the belt. I want you and the guys to sign it. He's like, yeah, we'll take care of it. And then I came back. It was at an outdoor event, but so they had these badass, I don't even want to call them tiki huts, tents, or whatever, but it was like a little village, and everybody performing had their own. And then Nickelback's manager's like, hey Tim, you wanna come in and meet the crew? And I'm thinking he's talking about some of the guys behind the scene. No, I walk into this tent and it's all four guys, and we just start shooting the shit about slapping and fighting and stuff like that, and Chad grabs my belt and puts his arm around me. I'm like, holy, this is fucking Nickelback, man. A lot of people want to talk shit about Nickelback.
Nickelback's Canadian
band,
man.
I know, right?
Listen,
they're awesome. They're fans.
Burn It to the Ground is on my workout mix. It's one of my first songs I listened to. It is the Nickelback Burn It to the Ground, like that. Hey, I'm all on your train with Nickelback, man. That actually reminds me. I was on a bus with our mutual friend Aaron Lewis. And he played here in Midland, and I was hanging out on the bus with him prior to him going on the show. And afterwards, we went to the bus, and little festivities pursued. And we had a good time, and we're all sitting around. And he goes, I'm going to Iowa, and I was like, oh shit. And he told me, I think he was going to meet up with you or something in Iowa. And he's like, just stay on the bus, man. Let's go to Iowa. And I was like, this close. I was like, I think I texted you, and I'm like, I might be coming to Iowa, man. Like, I might just stay on this damn bus. It was like, that was just such a fun moment. And he's a good dude.
You would have been so high when you got there. You probably would have.
I know, dude. It was that.
That's I love Aaron. Him and I, we did Dream Season together. I was a huge Aaron Lewis fan from Stained, and I was like a little freaking kid at Christmas. I got to first meet him, and I told him all about my story, how I moved to Iowa listening to Outside by Stained, and I cried for I had it on repeat, and I cried for 3 hours leaving Maine. And but anyway, we just became really good friends. But he smokes cigarettes, and everyone knows he smokes weed, and it's just like you smell like dog shit when you get off that bus. It's like you want to burn your clothes.
I know. And I actually don't.
You have to take a shower. You have to take a shower as soon as you get home because it's all in your hair. You smell like crap. But man, he's just down to the earth. Just a great country loving U.S.
He is.
I love the guy.
So do I. Awesome. I love him. It's the same thing. Like, I brought my mom to the show. We went back there, and she was on the bus, and she couldn't believe it. And we leave, and my mom, and she's laughing and shit. I go, you got a contact high. You're higher than shit right now. She's like, I think I am. She's like, I've never been high, but I think I am. Like, she was literally just from being on the bus. I think she got a contact high, so it was kind of fun. So we had a good time, and he's just a good dude. Another guy that just loves the country, loves to do some great stuff. So it's fun to always hang out with guys like that. So, well, buddy, listen, I've kept you long enough. I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much. I know it means a lot to me. You got a friend, whatever you need, anything, anytime. Thank you again for just for what you've done for hunting and just bringing awareness to it, for the sport, for all the stuff, all the entertainment you've given us over the years. And I cannot wait to see you suplex somebody into a fucking tire and then just work him over. So I can't wait for that. So let me know when that's coming, and I'll make sure I tell everybody about it, because that is going to be fun as hell to watch, man. So, Mr. Tim Sylvia, thank you, brother. I really appreciate the time today.
It's all right. Here's to the Friday night football games. Here's to the willow tree, me and Molly carved our name. Here's to the summertime. shines like gold. Swimming in that cool